Beloved, tell me about this conflict you're having with Spice. Like, what made you toss your handbag at her, beloved? That damn Melissa. What is up, everybody? It is I, Miss Sophia the Diva, and I am here to discuss another episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Season 7, Episode 13. Ooh, spooky number. Cowgirls Gone Wild. Now, I don't know about Cowgirls Gone Wild, but in this episode, there was a lot of wilding out hood style, but definitely not cowgirl style, because somebody probably would have gotten shot by Pistol Patty, Polly, whatever her name was in this episode. Either way, when we last left off, Rasheeda had successfully opened her store, but received a disturbing visitor known as Jasmine, Kirk's baby mama. That's all. They're on the ride to the dude ranch. The bus breakdown. I said, God damn it, who the hell is booking these raggedy ass buses for these reality shows? Because remember, in this first season of Southern Charm, their bus broke down on the way to the Myrtle Plantation. Although I think that was an omen to tell them, turn your ass back around and don't stay in a plantation, since most of y'all black anyway. So either way, they break down, they have a few antics and shenanigans. But before we do that, let's talk about Jasmine, Tiara, and Jess Brittany's girlfriend conversation regarding how did the night's events go down. So Jasmine wants to talk about how she's all embarrassed. But I'm like, what did you expect? You embarrassed yourself a long time ago when you hiked your skirt up and pulled your panties over to the side and let Kirk slide through. Thank you, Funky Dineva, for that. So I'm just like, how you should be embarrassed. But imagine how Rasheeda feels and add 10 times worse to that. What you have done, young lady, is something I hope you learn and grow from. Close your legs to married men, in the words of Nick Leaks. Anyway, she said I was a malicious individual, and Tiara was like, ha! No, actually, she said you were a fucked up individual. That's what I heard, and there's no better way to describe Jasmine, quite frankly, after that. Just Brittany was shocked and appalled that her good girlfriend, Tiara, was not present at her performance. Well, Just Brittany, let's just say you now know who your real friends are, and Tiara should not be on your friends list. She was coming into town to support your performance. She didn't show up in a timely fashion. They up there talking about, we didn't think we were late. You were late on purpose because you just wanted to make sure that Jasmine had her say with Rasheeda. And Jasmine got her face broke. But what I did appreciate about Tiara in the end, which you kind of should have gave her this advice before you got on a plane and she got on a plane to Houston, but Tiara said something that is profound, is that you need to allow Rasheeda time to heal. So really, she shouldn't have even been there because Rasheeda is still hurt. That's the type of hurt you never get over. You know, she has to see this child. She has to read the blogs. I mean, it's just everywhere. It was tacky. It was uncalled for. You should have stayed your ass at home. And if I was Rasheeda and Kirk, I would formally file a restraining order against you with parameters that you only can see Kirk when he has to pick up and drop off his son or something. Get a TRO, Rasheeda. That's what I would do. Just Brittany has lost me. When she said she's now on Team Jasmine because she seems like a genuine person and she's really sorry. Okay. At the end of the day, Kirk and Jasmine were complicit in what happened. But I always will lay heavier blame on the party that knowingly went into something, knowing that person was married. Okay, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's husband. And when we use the word neighbor, we are not talking about the woman next door. We're talking about us as a global movement, okay, as a whole, as we the people in this world. Yeah, don't do that. That was tacky. Now, on the bus ride to the Dude Ranch, people had to be separated. Of course, Spice and Tokyo can't ride on a bus together. So I don't remember who all was on the bus, but I know Spice and Tokyo weren't. And Tokyo was having a really good time on the bus with Rasheeda and them. I mean, it was just good times. They get to the dude ranch. Everybody's like, ain't no fucking Wi-Fi out here. There's no cell phone. There's no Wi-Fi, no cell phone reception. Oh my God, what are we going to do? We're off the grid. Y'all need that, honestly. All of us need to unplug from time to time. Tokyo had me down. She told me, I'm tell you right now, baby, I'm not riding no horse because it would be animal cruelty. It's about a one-on-one thing going on with that horse. I was like, girl, stop. You be all right. The horse will be all right. The accommodations definitely weren't 5-star. I mean, those rooms look basic as fuck. I was like, hell, is this what roughing it looks like? Loving it 5-star. Rasheeda was looking like, maybe I should have done 5-star. No, this is the perfect place for everyone to have healing because you have a Iyanla Vanzant in your midst, or at least a much younger Marcus Houston version of her. I'm sorry, but every time I look at Melissa, all I think about, because somebody else said it, and I started looking, it was like, oh my God, he looks like the Marcus Houston of Sister days. Remember, go home, Roger, go home. That's what she looks like these days. I'm like, girl, what's really going on? What's going on here, honey? What's going on? What's happening? And then Carly, I don't understand how Carly Red has not figured out. Girl, by now you should know. Men leave you. There's always a conflict. There was Benzino. There was Young Jock. There was Life Jennings. There was this guy, Sean Garrett, and there's some others in between. All of them leave you, honey. You are the common denominator. It is not them. It's you. And until you decide to work on you, the cycle will continue. Men leave because you're childish. You need to take notes. Also, I'll tell y'all something interesting. I was on Airbnb looking up something for one of my friends for Georgia. Do you know that freaking tree house that he was in is actually an Airbnb? Mona. Well, Rasheeda and Kirk, she was not too pleased about Jasmine showing up, and that's why I suggested earlier I'll get a restraining order. And she was like, but Kurt and I are in the same room, but we're in the same room, but not in the same bed. Baby, all you got is space and opportunity. All it might take is Kurt rubbing up on your thigh. And then you just like, okay, daddy. Girl, you ain't fooling nobody. The next morning, after everyone has had a night of rest, they're getting up to go to chow time. And that's when Carly came out and Tokyo and Sierra were together. And, hey, she's got this voice thing, and like Sierra was like, I thought it was one of them damn donkeys making that noise. Hell, it's Carly Red. I was like, oh shit, damn. But I was like, well, it's not like Carly ain't already an ass. Hell, she could get a prize on the Breakfast Club's Donkey of the Day with Charlemagne the God. So they done named these 3 donkeys that were sitting out there, BK, Sean, and Jock. Y'all still mad at these men. Sierra has every right to be mad at BK. Because BK was messing around with, what did she call her? I think it was Joy, and I think she called Amber Community Pussy Amber or something like that. I was like, God damn. They don't know Texas livestock. Those were longhorn cattle, not bulls. Jock said the pistol popping Patty Polly, whatever her name is. Tell me, wonder how long it took for her to learn how to Millie rock with them pistols. I was like, oh my God. So over breakfast, the truth comes out. Spice and Tokyo are still going at it. And she says, well, Carly told me that you and Sierra. And that's when Sierra was like, wait a minute, Carly? Oh, shit. Next thing you know, it got out of control. Estelita wanted to be seen and be a part of the action. But at some point, Tokyo calls Spice this bitch or something, and that was the trigger word. When I tell you that plate of food went smack dab into Tokyo Vanity's face, oh my God. I was like, all of that wasn't even necessary. So I guess bitch is a trigger word, and Tokyo got whoops upside your head a plate. Tell you what, Spice didn't miss. She got good aim. And I want Estelita to set her fake accent having, booty sagging, struggle vocal, struggle move self on down. She's jumping in on something out of so-called loyalty, and then she up here telling Sarah, you want to get popped again? You want to get popped again, mommy? I will pop you again, okay? And I'm just like, girl, you ain't even that hard. You ain't that big and bad. Now, Jocelyn, I would be terrified of that bitch crazy. But you, girl, please, you are not Panamanian, Tasmanian, whatever you want to be. It ain't it. And that shit that happened with Sierra in that club with Tommy, you shouldn't even been a part of that. Meanwhile, Mimi. Mimi was like, good morning, good morning. And I'm just like, I mean, at this point, you know, there's a level of maturity that Mimi has reached, and all this infighting and shit just ain't necessary. Next thing you know, BK and Carly Red are into it. He like, girl, what is wrong with you? Like, why is you? Why are you causing all these problems for everybody? I'm worried about my daddy. Girl, you said you didn't even know your daddy like that, okay? So what is it, Carly? No, don't try to blame an estranged family member's illness for your bad behavior, because that bad behavior was there before the illness and responsibilities, and it will probably continue to persist until you confront why it is that you enjoy and relish in wrecking other folks' lives with malicious gossip. You out here spreading everybody's business and then want to cry, my daddy. When, no, I'm not going to give you a pass on that. I don't think any of us out here can give you a pass legitimately on it. Next, we have the come to Jesus moment between Melissa and Tokyo. You know, she's like, you know, I know that Tokyo is younger than the rest of them, and she probably feels a little bit out of place and is not really equipped with the tools that she needs. I said, Melissa, were you a psychology major or a counseling major or something? So Melissa just wants to kind of gauge where the young Tokyo's mind is and how she's feeling. And she ain't feeling too hot about the shit that went down. Tokyo was like, well, you know, Spice was so busy talking shit, so I figured I'd introduce my purse to her for it. Actually, she said, introduce my purse across her forehead. I shouldn't be laughing at that. That was violence against women on women violence. We don't need that. Let's uplift one another, sisters. Melissa was like, so what set you off? What makes you want to throw your purse upside that lady's head? So Tokyo starts crying and talking about, it's been a long time for me to try to eradicate my name with being associated with violence, because I can imagine Tokyo probably was one of those girls that had been teased and abused. Of course, she would be my best friend, because I always kept me a bunch of big girls around me, because and little girls too, because my scary ass, I ain't gonna even lie, I don't fight. I'll tell you right now, I'll never forget one time I was dating this one guy, and his baby mama was threatening me, and I was like, you come on over here if you want to. I was like, you come on over if you want to. Girl, I will call 911, and the sheriff will be waiting for you right when you get here. Okay, so just come on. You issuing out threats. Come on, because, child, I do not need anything. I don't need no assault charges. Okay, I do not need them, because that's all I need is for you to sit up here and say I hit you. I ain't hitting nobody. Diva don't fight. I know how to. I've been trained how to, but I don't do that. Diva don't. That's a diva don't. Okay. This whole conflict ultimately could have been avoided had Spice and Tokyo both been mature enough. And it makes it really bad for Spice. Spice is 35 years old. It doesn't make any sense for her to be jumping fool based upon something that someone said. Years ago when I was in undergrad, this same shit happened where a girl decided in our circle that she was going to be a fastidious intermeddler and cause all types of chaos and disorder amongst our group dynamic. And what happened is that once people started having conversations, that's when the truth came out that the source of all the issues was old girl. And I could have missed out on a wonderful friendship. This girl to this day is one of my closest friends. I love her. We may not always talk all the time, but we survived law school together, and we're still surviving these bar exam attempts together. So, it's just one of those things. Always ask questions. When someone tells you something, it sounds believable because this person, oh, this is my homegirl. She wouldn't lie to me. She got your back. You got to be careful who you call your homegirl. Okay, you just do. And so I think that if Spice and Tokyo had sat down and talked, it could have been resolved and said, okay, well, Carly misconstrued what I said. But by then, tempers are high and flare. And I really don't like that, because maybe in schools now, conflict resolution also needs to be a course. We learned that Spice doesn't like being referred to as a bitch. Tokyo told her, that's in my vernacular. This is how I talk. You can just call me a bitch and we can call it even. And I'm trying to understand why Spice would be even offended by that, because I'm like, you were sitting there calling that girl out her name, talking about she's fat and me wuss and all that stuff, and you offended by somebody calling you a bitch. And not even per se calling you. Well, yeah, I don't like it. I'm going to tell you something. I don't like using it. I use it a lot more now. I'm not going to lie, because this is terrible. I kind of like saying it, but it doesn't always. I remember one of my exes used to laugh at me like, Afia, just don't curse. I was like, but I like it. Like, the texture of the words, So after this whole chaos of at the breakfast table with Carly Red, Jock and her end up going off, and she's like, I just want everybody to get along. And I'm just like, no, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be going around repeating everything you hear. Then on top of that, she talking about, why can't everybody just mind their own business? Why don't you take your own advice, Carly? And then she told me, well, my dad is sick. Jock, I think you should be my dad. I was like, oh, so now y'all back together again? And he was like, even though Carly not fighting stuff, I still care about her. I'm like, oh my God. So Spice and Tokyo have their resolution. There really isn't a resolution. It's just determined, okay, you stay in your corner, I'll stay in mine. I won't say anything bad to you or say anything to you directly. And we cool. Bam, squash it. Next thing I know, I don't remember exactly how all the fighting came out. Estelita is on Sierra all of a sudden. And I'm just like, I don't get it. And then next thing I know, she want to fight. And I'm just like, why would you want to fight Sierra? I mean, we really don't understand. But at the end of the day, we all know Carly Red is the source of it. You want to get popped? I pop you. I pop you. So one of my followers, Gutter Glam Life, I think is her name, she came on and told me that bitch is a casual word that goes down in New Orleans. And I'm just like, I didn't know all of that. But shit, they call dudes bitches too, apparently, or bitch or something. I'm like, why? I think that's all I've got for this episode. I feel bad for Rasheeda. Rasheeda tried to bring everybody together, do a little hanging out. Maybe the rest of the trip will be good, but ninjas and flies. That's what I'll say, because I don't like using that other word. Ninjas and flies. Yeah, can't take y'all no damn way. And them white people on their ranch was just like, we ain't never inviting black folk out here again. See that? That just proves a lot of people's point. Kanye already, what was it, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, or wherever that resort spa is for the rich, or that ranch or whatever, they can't come back there either, not for no album release party. So there's just certain places black people just shouldn't go if they're going to be prone to violence, I guess is how some white people feel now. But that's all I've got for this episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so at this time. Give it a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, your mima, your grandma, your papa, and all of that. And thank you to all of my new subscribers. You guys rock. This is awesome. We're getting closer to 300. We got about 2 more weeks before we're in July, and I was hoping to get to 1,000 followers sooner. But anyways, hit that notification bell so you'll know when the diva is dropping another one on you. Ladies, let's come together. Let's not be all up in here fighting and boobs flying and shit. Hell, that's nothing to have an Spice running out the car with boobs flying. Estelita trying to let hers fly out. I'm just like, at the end of the day, y'all just need to isolate Carly Red and have an intervention for her. Y'all done took Tommy off the show for alcoholism. You need to address Carly's addiction to gossip. because it caused a bunch of mayhem, chaos, and disorder. That was embarrassing. And I hope Viacom, y'all got good liability insurance, because somebody gonna get injured eventually, like severely injured, other than a ponytail or weave being snatched. That's all I got. Y'all make it a great one. I've been Miss Sophia the Diva.